So for those of you who, we're going to do some prostrations right now. You don't have to do that at all, but it's like a traditional Buddhist things, like balancing the body, speech, and mind through a teaching.
No, I'm sitting here. Is that okay?
Thank you. Seaweed and cookies. Yes, Dora. Mikey, did you get an email about a Insight Timer app from me? Because I don't have your email. You would have. Okay. There we all are. Beautiful smiles. So to me, you appear like happy people. I wonder what you're doing here. Oh, Amanda's trying to pretend she's not. Does everyone know it's a supermoon tonight?
Do I know?
Are you feeling it?
No, never slept a wink last night.
Supermoon is flowing through your blood.
Yeah, absolutely. Unbelievable.
There was a guy in my high school that was known as, everyone called him Moon, because he just couldn't keep his pants up. He just mooned everybody. He was famous. Every time he was on the bus would be leaving and you'd see his butt cheeks in the window. That was a Superman. Not the Superman, but he was a Superman. On that note, let's do a little meditation. Begin, as always, checking in with your body, the thing that somehow by some miracle allows you to be here with just the kind of presence that you do have, just the kind of experience that you do have. Feel the weight of your body connecting. Feel its connection to whatever surface it's resting upon. That thing that's happening right now. The feeling in your body. Sometimes they call it feeling earth element, some areas. And it's like feeling heaviness or feeling supported. You can even feel it where your hands are resting. Concentrate on that feeling and the feeling alone. Letting go of mental images associated with that feeling. So you're trying to fine-tune the very simple object. Fine-tune your focus on the very simple object. Like focusing on life itself, life happening right now. Once you have this grounded feeling, then let's get some sky involved, some upward lift. Take a nice, rich and deep inhale, lifting the heart, the crown draws towards the sky. And then with this expansive feeling, then relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, relax the eyebrows, the forehead, so that you're nice and open and relaxed. The most crucial element is that you're relaxed. So if you do notice tension, inhale into this tension. Wrap it in some kind of golden light. And then exhale it away. And you may be experiencing mental tension. Maybe a thought is burrowing its way in your mind. Can also inhale around that and then exhale it away, just so you can be here. Just be here. The rest of your life is not happening right now. What's happening is what's happening right now. We have no way of controlling what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 hours. So be here. Now begin focusing on the movement of the belly with the breath. So you're switching to the physical sensation of the feeling of the belly expanding and contracting with the breath, and noticing right away if you want to control that cycle of breath. and relax that tension away. And allow the breath to be as it is. Using the natural cycle of the breath to keep your mind here and now. Pull your energy away from the future, away from the past, and put it into the focus of now. Transitioning to a more subtle object. Now the breath as it passes at the nostrils. It's like we're entering into a finer focus. Parking the mind's awareness at the tip of the nostrils. Being aware of sensation. Physical sensation. Staying with physical feelings alone. Tossing out mental images. Stay with the feeling. Cultivating the witness state of mind. Just watching. Not making any judgment, just watching. Then shift your focus to the sounds that you hear. Doing your best again to simply be with the sound. As it is for you in the present moment. And every exhale, you could discard the mental image associated with the sound and invigorate your focus on the sound alone on the inhale. letting go of any image of where it might be coming from. Continuously try to drop the idea that the sound is out there somewhere. As if there could be a line between where the sound is and where you start. Let go of the idea of ears and feel the vibration of the sound. Now I'm trying to be aware of the exact moment that the sound stops. Before we open our eyes, try and stay with the absence of sound. The moment you notice the sound stopped, the feeling inside your body and mind that may have happened. And as you gently open your eyes, take in the room, try and stay centered, not leap out. Just look from the center of you. And if you need to stretch out your legs or do anything like that, it's a good time to do that. Did anybody notice that when you do a meditation like that, which involves something like a crystal bowl, that once the crystal bowl, the sound of the bowl diminishes, do you notice that your relationship to other sounds feels different? Like the sound of the fan, for instance, appears in your mind to be something different, then your association with it is different. That's like the ever-changing possibility of reality. That's your world at that time, in that moment. That is the world you're experiencing. You know, the deeper you go in your mind, like you talked to Alvaro there, he's one of the things that he likes to do and has done in his life is go into nature, specifically the jungle. And a person could go into the jungle and can be completely freaked out. I'm sure they could be completely freaked out. And then I've never been in the jungle, but I've been in nature a lot, and I've meditated a lot in nature. And I've had the experience of when your state of mind changes, your entire environment changes. And even in like a boring old Canadian forest, your mind wakes up and then it's a buzz. It's a buzz. It's an ocean of sound. It's an ocean of life. I can't even imagine what it must be like in the jungle. Like that's probably completely insane. It's probably like crystal bowl, something like that, where just like it just ignites as soon as your mind shifts. And and then suddenly you're living in a mystery. You're living in a mystery. You've left the mundane. And I myself, I've done quite a bit of retreating, and one of the first things that I've noticed in my first solitary 30-day retreat was about 2 weeks in, what had first appeared to me as just a field of grass, a field of dry grass, in fact, just became alive. It was like the whole place was crawling, like the grass was alive, and suddenly I could see the things crawling underneath the grass. So it was like I was seeing that, not the grass. So the whole thing was moving, and then get down closer, and all you need to do is look at one plant, and this plant might be this high, but you soon see that is an entire world of multi-levels. I mean, there's dragonflies, like helicopters flying in on the one level, and then you've got the beetles, and you've got all the stuff happening, and there's like, it could easily be New York City. And there's all this stuff, and it's just completely, and that was there the day before. It's probably there right now. Like it's everywhere. Like life is like that everywhere all the time. It's, what are you seeing? It's not like that, stalk of grass with a few little, twigs and bushes is any more magical than any other, and than any other place, than any other flower. It's all the mind. It's all the mind that allows you to see. It's like you open a door. And I was thinking about the supermoon. Amanda told me about the supermoon. Of course, Amanda told me about the supermoon. And I was thinking about it, and I looked on a couple of websites, and she sent me some links that I could look at. And there was like the NASA situation, and then there was the the zodiac situation, right?
Well, you know.
You know. And the zodiac situation was all this stuff about, you know, what you should do, you know. You should be forgiving, you should let go, you should use the energy, you should like really ride this energy and use it. And then the NASA site, it was like one guy said, ultimately, people should just go out and enjoy it. You know? And it made me think. It made me think about the two and how we are. And how we love our problems. You know, what would we do without our problems? I want to read this up. So, in case you know nobody knows this fact, because I didn't. The moon's orbit around Earth is slightly elliptical, so sometimes it is closer and sometimes it's further away. When the moon is full, as it makes its closest pass to Earth, it is known as a supermoon. So that's why it's called supermoon. Okay, it's full right now and it's closest to Earth. The moon can be as much as 14% closer to Earth, and it will shine 30% more on the Earth. And that's what's happening right now. And so the next one will be 2034. Will be the next time this happens. And the last one was 1948. So right now, this is happening, okay? And I don't much go for prescribed, you know, this is what the moon is, okay? Because you can, in a certain sense, the sun represents this, the moon means this, the sun is a metaphor for this, and okay, you know, for some people it is, and for some people it isn't. It's beautiful. But what this started making me think, and I started thinking about the moon, and I started thinking about what is it about the moon that we're so attracted to? And it's a mysterious object in the sky. It's always been that way, it seems. I mean, mythology is like built around it, you know, the werewolf. It's my favorite one, actually. The werewolf's the best as far as I'm concerned. Dracula's, he's cool, but the werewolf, you know. But the thing about it is the moon's mystery is unownable. You can't own that. You can't own it. We gaze up at the moon, and we have a feeling in our body. We have a feeling in our mind. There's something happening there. There's some mystery that happens. And because I'm guessing, I could be totally wrong, and you guys could complain about it if I'm wrong, if you think I'm just out to lunch. But there's something about the fact that we know that there's no way we can possess this thing, that we can enjoy it. You know, we don't get to dictate when it comes. We don't get to dictate how big it is. We don't get to dictate when it's clouded in, you know, a shroud of clouds. We don't get to, you know, sometimes it's gloriously full and it casts long shadows in the middle of night. It's just, and other times you can't even see it. If you're in Vancouver, you don't see it much. Supermoon, who cares? We're in Vancouver. Tell someone in California. But you know, but some people, they feel the subtle pull, you know, and their whole system feels, because what, we're almost all water, aren't we? We're almost all water, and like to some small creature that exists inside our bodies, we're tidal. Like we are tidal inside of us, you know, so just like maybe that's her secret. Maybe that's the moon's secret. It's like, you don't get to own me. You know, you don't get to own me. Enjoy me while I'm here. Enjoy me while I'm here. And we can look up at the moon and we can enjoy the moon. And in that time, often, we're not conniving. We're not trying to convince the moon that she should be different. Or he, I don't know, it's a man on the moon apparently. Depending on who's looking, I guess. So what about the rest of life? What about the people in our lives? Like, how present would we have to be in order to gaze at someone like they are the moon? Why is that so hard? So, how much of our future hopes and our past would we have to drop in order to look at someone and say, you know, wow, she's really glowing tonight? Or wow, she's in a cloudy mood tonight, you know? Or wow, you know, he's really kind of neutral right now. Or wow, he's not here. He's here, but he's not here. She's here, but she's not here. And what a great view I have across the table from this person who is like the moon. Oh, but no, she's not like the moon. He is not like the moon, because I can get my fingers in. I can get my fingers in there and start to turn them a bit. I can try to make them into what I want. Or at least try. At least try. And oh, does the suffering perpetuate itself as soon as we do that. Why would we do that? Why? Why? And have you ever been around someone who just doesn't do that? How weird is that? When they like don't want anything from you. They don't need anything from you. They're just with you. They're so comfortable with themselves. They have so much sort of love that they don't need you. But they sure like being around you. They love you, they love your presence. That can be strange for people who want to play that game of, you know, let's give each other what we think we want. And then when you don't give me what I want, your appearance begins to change. And how I'm feeling is now your fault. Because what is there other than the quest for your inner enlightenment? Remember I drew the map of all reality, the circles that went down to the center? Like, your innermost presence, the innermost, the furthest you can go in. You can only get there through meditation. I'm sure you can actually pop in there once in a while. I'm sure everyone does once in a while. But to experience it on a sustained level requires concentration, requires meditation, requires you to open up the door enough that I was talking about, where the mundane is gone. It's like the urge in every person to fill an inner emptiness. That's the urge to meet the inner presence and have that inner presence bubble out and fill your life. So for those of us who try to fill that inner emptiness with material things or sense pleasures, always thirsty. Always thirsty. Get a little drink, but the well runs dry. That is a barren well. That is a well that runs dry. And so this inner emptiness we try to fill with our jobs, with the people around us, with material things. Or we turn inward and try to find what is already inside of us that is actually, it's like you need to go in and like take the cork off the well. You know, like Buddhism, they'll say like, oh, Buddhism will say, crack open your heart. Crack open your heart. And they use fancy words like bodhicitta. They use fancy words like the direct perception of emptiness. They use fancy words. Christianity uses fancy words too. Gonna wake the Christ within me. Everyone has their way of saying it. But really, this is all it is. Cracking open the heart, meeting the Christ within me, is turning inward so hard, with such zeal, with such will, and just going in, and eventually you find the cork, and you pop open the bottle, and the bottle never runs dry. It's a fountain. You have a fountain inside of you that if you don't experience cascading joy, there's a cork on it, that's all. That's all. And you can just pop it off. In order to pop it off, you have to turn in so that your energy, it's like somehow in a moment of meditation, managing to drop the entire past and the entire future. And in that moment, really, it's beyond male and female. It's beyond light and dark. It's like this place in the exact center where no perception of a polarity can exist. So really, you can't really see anything, because we need our opposites in order to see anything. There is no fast without a slow. There is no me without a you. Really. And that is the perceptual reality. But underneath of all of that is the ultimate sort of reality, that your divine presence. You go in, and then that thing opens up, and that is a fountain that never runs dry. It's just a perpetual bliss and joy that runs, and then you don't need anything. You have fulfilled that emptiness, and then you're just comfy. It's no big deal. You're not like super God now. You're not like super being. You're not like some unattainable thing on the mountaintop that only like 1 out of 10 million people ever reach, but we're all trying so hard. It's not like that. It's just like you're comfortable now. You like yourself now. You understand now. You get the joke. You get that it was always just this craziness in your mind that was telling you that life is just a bunch of problems that need to be solved. Now, life is just a bunch of beautiful scenarios that you get to experience. Some of them happen to involve root canals. Some of them happen to involve making love. Some of them happen to involve playing the wrong chord in a band while you're playing guitar. Some of them happen to involve playing exactly the right chord right at the right time. None of that is, it's kind of like even your own neurosis isn't the problem. It's your problem with your neurosis that's the problem. You see? Everyone's neurotic. I mean, you know, okay, maybe not. I mean, sure, there's some people that have their act together. But most people, and you know, until, especially if they haven't meditated long enough and they're kind of in the in-between stages, maybe they've only meditated for 3 years, well, they're pretty neurotic. They're like viewing the craziness in their own mind. And, you know, and that will subside. But it's okay to have a bad feeling. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with feeling jealous. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the only thing that presents an obstacle is if you don't understand what the jealousy is about, and it takes you over, and then you act out on it, and you have no witness state of mind. You have not cultivated through meditation the mind that is watching phenomena happen. As soon as that begins to happen, you've already begun. You're well on your way to popping that cork off, because you'll be able to watch your mind do its dance in the world and understand that that's not what you are. Let's have a little break. Do another meditation and some talk, and you can go home. Lunch or break?
Yeah, perfect.
Are you enjoying your yoga training?
Very much.
How